Businesses are making $5.20 for every $1 spent on influencer marketing, which explains why 67% of brands use Instagram for influencer marketing. So how can you tap into this and use Instagram influencer marketing to grow your business and maximize your returns? Or maybe you're watching like, wait a minute, back up. What even is influencer marketing to begin with? Don't worry, because either way, I'm answering both of those questions for you in this video and giving you some pro tips to keep in mind along the way so that you can maximize your investment from Instagram. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandy with LYFE Marketing, the digital marketing agency with a mission to help small businesses grow. Before we get started, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the business growing videos that we put out every single week. All right, so let's start out by quickly defining what influencer marketing is. Influencer marketing involves a brand collaborating with an online influencer to market one of its products or services. And an influencer is someone who has a large audience on social media, and the size of their follower base dictates what kind of influencer they are. Nano influencers have 1,000 to 10,000 followers. Micro influencers have 10,000 to 50,000 followers. Mid-tier influencers have 50,000 to 500,000 followers. Macro influencers have 500,000 to 1 million followers, and mega influencers, often celebrities, have more than 1 million followers. So the idea is that you find an influencer within your industry so that they can promote your product or service to their qualified follower base in exchange for you paying them a flat fee or for them getting a commission on every sale that they send your way. This puts your brand in front of a ton of eyeballs who are likely to be interested in what you sell, but may not have heard of you before. Now, before we move on, I do want to mention if you've never heard of influencer marketing until this video, or if you just want more context on how to go about creating influencer brand partnerships, I strongly suggest you watch this video next on how to create an influencer marketing strategy. That video will give you a more general overview of this marketing method overall, as well as give more context to this video that you're watching now, because in this video, I want to keep pushing with Instagram specific influencer marketing. So on that note, let's talk a little bit about why Instagram influencer marketing is so effective. Instagram has over 1.3 billion monthly active users, and among them, 72% of users report making purchase decisions based on something they saw on Instagram. So when compared to Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest, and even Facebook, Instagram has the most influence on consumer shopping habits. So essentially what all of that means is that Instagram users are already in a buying mindset and are already used to making purchases as a result of what they see on Instagram. That's major on its own, but then you couple that with the influence that influencers have on their followers, and it's like a 1-2 punch on consumers. There's a stat out there that says friends influence 81% of consumers' purchasing decisions on social media, and the whole idea behind influencers is that they feel like friends. They share the ins and outs of their everyday lives with thousands or sometimes millions of people every day. And for the followers watching their daily Instagram stories and reels, etc., they feel like they really know them, even though they've never met in real life. And as a result of this relationship, there's a level of trust between the influencer and the follower that brands do not often achieve as easily on their own. But what happens is this influencer, who a follower trusts and likes to watch every day, comes along and says something like, "Hey guys, I started using this shampoo a month ago and I love it. It's made my hair so soft and it's sulfate free. If you're interested in trying it out, they gave me a discount code for you guys to use. So tap the link now to shop with 10% off." And the followers watching feel more like it's a friend who has recommended this product to them and less like an influencer being paid to promote it to them. Even though influencers are required to disclose if something has been sponsored or if they're delivering an ad, followers just trust that the influencer would not be promoting the product if they didn't actually believe in it. In other words, even though most followers know it's an advertisement, they still accept it almost like organic content and take the influencer at their word because that's how much they trust and like them. And with Instagram in particular, influencers have so many tools to let followers into their daily lives. Like I mentioned earlier, stories, reels, live streams, longer form videos, direct messaging, and directly replying to comments with reels, and so on. And the more involved or interactive followers feel with influencers, the more influence they're likely to be. So all of that is what leads to Instagram influencer marketing being as powerful as it is. Now let's quickly address what type of businesses can utilize Instagram influencer marketing. 50.7% of brands working with influencers run e-commerce stores, and as a result, I think there's often a misconception that influencer marketing only makes sense for e-commerce stores. But the flip side of that statistic is that 49.3% of brands working with influencers are not e-commerce store owners. That's still almost half. So even if you're B2B or a service-based business, you can still benefit from Instagram influencer marketing. You just need to find the right influencer for your market and learn how to leverage that partnership efficiently. Something I talk more about in my influencer marketing strategy video. So again, if you need help learning how to find influencers or how to go about partnering with them, watch that video next. Seriously. All right, now before we wrap up with the pros and cons of Instagram influencer marketing, first here is a quick message from one of our co-founders, Sherman.
Hey, we just helped a small business make over $1.5 million through Facebook advertising. And after managing millions of dollars in ad spend for thousands of different small businesses, we have decided to give away everything we learned to you in a special program. If you want to learn the blueprint to success, the best practices from some of the fastest growing companies in the world, and all of the different tools you will need, then sign up for our social ads training program today.
All right, so the last thing I want to do is quickly share the pros and cons of Instagram influencer marketing. Starting with the pros. Number one, there are influencers out there for every budget. So whether you're a one-man show running your business right now, or whether you've been on the up and up and are looking for new sources of revenue for your business, either way, you can find an influencer within your market that fits your needs. Number two, you can get insane reach and brand awareness for cheaper than you would with Facebook ads. The average cost per 1,000 impressions from influencer marketing on Instagram is $5 to $10, whereas the average CPM on Facebook across all industries is $11.54. So in addition to being able to work with influencers cheaply if necessary, the results often come at a lower cost per result than they would if you directly paid for ad spend on platforms like Facebook. Pro number three is you can directly track how many sales come from the influencer you're working with tools like UTM links, discount codes, and Bitly or Google Analytics, something I show you how to utilize in my influencer marketing strategy video. And pro number four is that you get to collaborate with a creative person to create some awesome content for your business. Unless you have a full-on marketing team working for you, it can be hard to find the time to get in a creative headspace or stay on top of the latest content trends. Instagram influencers utilize their expert knowledge of the platform and of their followers to create content that's on brand for you, yet still optimal for Instagram. This can be super helpful, particularly if you're a one-man show who doesn't know so much about Instagram yet or just doesn't have the time to handle it. My only piece of advice here is that you let it be a collaboration as opposed to you force-feeding the influencer exactly what to say and do. One article said, when working with influencers, brands have to let go and allow influencers control of the narrative to preserve the authenticity of what is being communicated, and I completely agree. All right, now let's look at a couple of the cons. Con number one is that Instagram influencer marketing is not always scalable. It takes a fair amount of time to research and find new influencers to work with, DMing them back and forth to get their rates, approve content, etc. This is not something you'll be able to eventually put on autopilot because it does take human attention. Con number two is that rates vary. I know earlier we listed that as a pro because it means you can find influencers for every budget, but it also means you might find the perfect influencer that you want to work with that meets all your criteria, but you can't because they have expensive rates that are outside of your budget. And expensive rates are usually justified not just because of follower count, but because of engagement rates. So you may have to dig around to find an influencer to work with who meets your criteria and is within budget. And lastly, con number three is even if you do everything right and you find a relevant, affordable influencer within your industry with good engagement rates, the campaign could still flop. It's not a perfect science, but then again, that goes with anything in marketing. So you just have to be willing to test out different influencers and campaigns until you find the right recipe that works for your brand. Ultimately, Instagram influencer marketing can be a great way to extend your reach, brand awareness, and in some cases, direct sales. It just takes time, effort, and a little know-how to get started. But that wraps up everything I have for you today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments for me and I'll get back to you there. Otherwise, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell before you go, and I will see you in the next episode.